On August 4, 2025, the football world stood still as news broke of the sudden passing of Jorge Paulo Costa Almeida, a towering figure in Portuguese football whose indomitable spirit and fierce leadership made him a legend at FC Porto. At just 53, Jorge, affectionately known as Bicho Animal and tanked for his ferocious presence on the pitch, succumbed to a cardiac arrest during a training session at Porto's Alal facility, where he served as director of football. His death came after a private 5-year battle with leukemia, a fight he faced with the same unyielding courage that defined his career. From a boy kicking a ball in the gritty streets of Porto, to captaining his beloved club, to the 2004 Champions League title under José Mourinho, Jorge's life was a testament to loyalty, grit, and passion. A devoted husband, father, and mentor, he left behind a legacy that transcends trophies, a story of a man who lived for football, his family, and his city. Today we dive deep into Jorge Costa's remarkable journey, his cause of death, age, family, net worth, lifestyle, and biography, a narrative of a warrior whose heart beat for Porto until its final moment. Jorge Costa was born on October 14, 1971, in the heart of Porto, Portugal, a city where football is more than a game, it's a way of life. Raised in a working-class neighborhood, Jorge grew up in a modest family, the son of a factory worker, and a homemaker who instilled in him values of hard work and community. Details of his parents and any siblings remain private, as Jorge was fiercely protective of his personal life. But his childhood was shaped by Porto's vibrant culture. As a boy, he chased a worn leather ball through narrow alleys, dreaming of wearing the blue and white of FC Porto. His talent was undeniable, and by age 10, he joined Porto's youth academy, where his physicality and determination set him apart. Known for his aggressive tackles and commanding presence, young Jorge earned the nickname Bicho from coaches who saw his relentless drive. At school, he was an average student, more focused on perfecting his slide tackles than his studies, but his teachers recalled a quiet charisma that drew others to him. Those early years in Porto's youth system were a crucible, forging a player who would become the embodiment of the club's fighting spirit. Jorge's professional career began in 1990 when he debuted for FC Porto, though his path to stardom wasn't immediate. To gain experience, he was loaned to Penafiel in 1991, where he played with a raw intensity that caught attention. The following year at Maritimo, he appeared in 31 matches, but a controversial own goal against Porto sparked baseless accusations of bias, prompting Porto's president Jorge Nuno Pinto da Costa to ban loan players from facing the club, a rule that endured for decades. By 1993, Jorge returned to Porto as a full-time starter. His 1.88-meter frame and fearless defending made him a fan favorite. In 1998, he inherited the captain's armband from João Pinto, a role he embraced with pride. Over his career, he played 323 matches for Porto, scoring 15 goals and leading the team to 8 Primeira Liga titles, 5 Taça de Portugal trophies, and the 2003 UEFA Cup. The crowning moment came in 2004 when Porto, guided by José Mourinho's tactical genius, won the Champions League against AS Monaco 3-0. Jorge's defensive masterclass alongside Ricardo Carvalho was pivotal, and Mourinho later recounted how Jorge's halftime speech during a tense match against Belenenses turned a 1-0 deficit into a 3-1 victory. His leadership wasn't just tactical, it was visceral, inspiring teammates and fans alike. Jorge's career wasn't without turbulence. In 1995-96, a severe knee injury sidelined him, ruling him out of UEFA Euro 1996. And another knee injury in 1997's preseason in Sweden tested his resilience. A public feud with coach Octavio Machado in 2001 led to a loan spell at Charlton Athletic, where he played alongside Luke Young, Mark Fish, and Jonathan Fortune in a backline dubbed Young Fish, Costa Fortune. Despite the playful nickname, Jorge's time in London was bittersweet. Porto fans turned on Machado, demanding their captain's return. In 2002, José Mourinho brought him back, and Jorge led Porto to a historic treble, the Primeira Liga, Taça de Portugal, and UEFA Cup. Internationally, Jorge earned 50 caps for Portugal, debuting in 1992 against Bulgaria. Played in the 2000 European Championship, reaching the semi-finals and the 2002 World Cup. Though an own goal against the United States haunted him, the 1996 incident with AC Milan's Jorge Weah, who accused Jorge of racial abuse after breaking his nose, was a low point. Jorge denied the allegations, and UEFA found no evidence. But the episode left a scar with Weah's 6-match ban and Jorge's court case against him, highlighting the controversy's intensity. Through it all, Jorge's love for Porto never wavered. His captaincy, a symbol of the club's soul. After retiring in 2006 from Standard Liège, where he played his final season, Jorge transitioned to management with the same passion he brought to the pitch. He began as an assistant at Braga in 2006, taking over as head coach in 2007. His managerial career spanned Portugal's SC Salgueiros, Honans, and Académica, where he narrowly avoided relegation before stepping down in 2010 for personal reasons. In 2011, he joined Romania's CFR Cluj, leading them to the 2008-9 Cupa Romaniei. Though he was sacked in 2012 after a 5-0 loss to Dinamo Bucharest. In Cyprus, he won the 2011 WEL First Division with AEL Limassol and later managed Anorthosis. His boldest move came in 2014, coaching Gabon's national team until 2016, navigating the 2015 Africa Cup of Nations with mixed results. In 2021, Jorge returned to Porto as director of football, a role that felt like a homecoming. He mentored young players like Jorge Costa, shaped transfer strategies, and brought his tactical acumen to the club's operations. His office at Al was filled with mementos. Photos of the 2004 Champions League triumph. Signed Mourinho playbook, reminders of a career that never strayed far from Porto's heart. Jorge's lifestyle reflected his roots and his role as a football icon. His net worth, estimated at €2 to €5 million in 2025, stemmed from his playing days where top Porto players earned €500,000 to €1 million annually in the 1990s and 2000s, plus bonuses for titles like the Champions League. His managerial roles and director position added to his wealth. Though Jorge lived modestly compared to modern football stars, he resided in Porto's Foz do Douro district with his family in a comfortable home overlooking the Atlantic, where he'd unwind with his wife Ana Cristina and their 2 children. Jorge loved Porto's seafood restaurants, often dining at Ogavedo, savoring grilled octopus with old teammates. A car enthusiast, he drove a sleek Mercedes-Benz S-Class, but he was no flashy spender, preferring to invest in his children's education and local charities. He supported Porto's youth programs, often funding equipment for underprivileged players, and was a regular at community events, signing autographs with a smile. His home was a shrine to his career, with a framed number 2 jersey from his captaincy. Days and a photo of him lifting the Champions League trophy, moments he cherished as much as family dinners. Family was Jorge's cornerstone, though he kept their details private. He was married to Ana Cristina since the early 1990s. Their bond was a quiet strength through his career's highs and lows. They had 2 children, a son, Tomas, and a daughter, Sofia, who were in their early 20s at the time of his passing. Jorge often spoke of Ana Cristina's support during his leukemia battle, calling her my rock in a rare 2023 interview with Ebola. His parents, who lived to see his Champions League triumph, were his earliest cheerleaders, his father teaching him to tackle with precision on Porto streets. Jorge was close to his extended family, including cousins in Porto's Campanha district, hosted barbecues where he'd recount stories of facing Ronaldo or Zidane. His children shared his love for football. Tomas played in Porto's youth academy, while Sofia studied sports science, inspired by her father's discipline. Fans on X noted Jorge's devotion, with one post saying he was Porto's captain, but at home, he was just dad. His family's presence at his memorial, where thousands gathered outside Estadio do Dragão, spoke to the love that anchored him. Jorge's health struggles began in 2020 with a leukemia diagnosis, a battle he kept largely private. He underwent chemotherapy and a stem cell transplant, enduring grueling treatments while continuing to work at Porto. By early 2025, he appeared to be in remission, returning to Al with renewed energy. Often seen joking with players like Pepe, on August 4, 2025, however, tragedy struck. While observing a training session, Jorge collapsed from a sudden cardiac arrest. Despite rapid intervention by medical staff, he was pronounced dead at 53. As confirmed by Porto's statement, "Our captain, our symbol, forever one of us." The news stunned the football world, with José Mourinho sharing a tearful tribute. "Jorge was my warrior, my voice on the pitch." Tributes flooded X, with fans posting clips of his iconic tackles and leadership moments. One wrote, "Bicho's heart was too big for this world. Sporting Lisbon and Liga Portugal honored him, and Porto's players wore black armbands in their next match." His leukemia battle, compounded by the physical toll of his career, likely contributed to the heart strain that ended his life so suddenly. Jorge Costa's life was a saga of courage, loyalty, and love. As Porto's captain, he led with a ferocity that won 8 league titles and a Champions League crown. His 2004 triumph, etched in football history, is 50 caps for Portugal. His managerial successes in Romania and Cyprus, and his mentorship as Porto's director showed a man who never stopped serving the game. From Porto streets to the global stage, Jorge embodied the club's motto, Invictus. His leukemia fight, fought with quiet strength, and his sudden passing at 53 underscored life's unpredictability, survived by Anna Cristina Tomas, Sofia, and a football family that adored him. Jorge's legacy endures in every Porto chant, every tackle, every young player he inspired. As Mourinho said, he wasn't just a captain, he was Porto's soul. If Jorge Costa's story of passion, sacrifice, and unbreakable spirit has touched you, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. Let's keep his legacy alive, a flame that burns eternal in Porto's heart. Thank you for joining us in celebrating Jorge Costa's extraordinary life. Till next time, let his courage inspire.